The Lorain County Commissioners would like to welcome you to come down to the Lorain County Dog Kennel.
We have lots of dogs available for adoption. We also encourage all dog owners to register your dog each year and get a dog license.
We also have a special dog license. It's a special heart medical care license tag for an additional $5. And the proceeds from that go to help us when we pick up a stray that's injured or needs extreme medical care.
Remember, your best friend is waiting for you.
Welcome to another broadcast of the Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to our November 17th meeting. I think we'll start with the dog show first, and then we'll introduce our 4-H students. Charles, you want to come down to the center here? Good morning. This is Charles Williams. He's a student at Lorain County JVS. He's shadowing me for today with Lorain County Youth Government Day. And his home school is Brookside. Got that right?
Yes.
And he said he likes animals and he has a dog, so he said he would help me today. He's doing all right. Would you like to take this dog home?
But my mom.
Moms are problems sometimes. I know, I'm one of those moms. This week's featured pet at the Lorain County Dog Kennel is a stray male boxer. He is in cage number 5 and is eligible for adoption on Friday, November the 18th. The kennel hours will be posted on the screen. The kennel is closed on Sundays and Mondays. Other days we invite you to stop by and get a dog who can be your best friend. I see that. He likes it right here. We have several of those dogs who just made themselves right at home. Okay. You can give him back to who's taking care of him, Charles. Thank you. Okay. Oh, look at that. This looks like a Ted dog. He's a big dog.
That's what I thought when it came in. I thought I got to show the dog.
No, it's my turn.
Your turn.
Yeah, he's staying.
Well, Commissioner, you put him to sleep talking. Good dog. Boxers are wonderful.
Yeah, nice dog.
Fine job, Commissioner.
Thank
Fine
you very
job.
much.
There you go.
Okay, as I announced a little bit earlier, this is Youth Government Day. Most of us have a shadow for the day, and this is Charles Williams. Commissioner, would you like to introduce your alternate?
Yes, my guest for today, my alternate commissioner today, is Matthew Bremke. He attends Langston Middle School in Oberlin, and he is very active with the pig farms and such. I haven't bought one of his yet. Maybe next year I'll buy one of his.
Laura, you have an absent chair?
Yes, I do.
Okay. There are some 4-H students in the audience. Judy Nedwick, you have 2 students?
Yes, I do.
Can you come up to the microphone?
Yes,
So,
certainly
Judy,
will.
come up to the microphone so Hal can pick you up. Please, Ken.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to let the girls introduce themselves. They just came in. I haven't gotten to know them yet. Their names and their schools, please.
Hi, I'm Samantha Milks. I'm from Firelands High School, and I'm a 9th grader.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brandy Baker, and I go to Black River, and I'm a junior.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Ken Burkhardt has a shadow from Ron Nabokowski's office.
Good morning. We have Tyree Blakely from the Lorain County Clerk of Court's office. And Tyree, do you want to go up and introduce yourself to the commissioners and the audience?
Hi, I'm Tyree Blakely. I currently attend Elyria High School and I'm a junior.
And what are you studying?
Huh?
Oh, you're from Elyria High School?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
And we have two students shadowing us, and I will let them introduce themselves.
I'm Jennifer Sherman, and then I go to LCCC.
I'm Amber Bishop, and I'm homeschooled, and I'm a senior.
All right, thank you very much. Now, usually at the beginning of our meeting, we have a thought for the day. And my thought for today is that I would like these 4-H students to stand up and to give their 4-H pledge. I think that would be nice for the viewing public to see and hear, and we will stand with them.
Okay.
Okay.
As a true 4-H club member, I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart for greater loyalty, my hands for larger service, and my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Now, wasn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Okay, with all those preliminaries out of the way, welcome. And Madam Clerk, it's your show.
Under public hearings at 10 a.m., we're going to have a public hearing on the vacation of an existing road right-of-way being of Corey Road, the unimproved in Columbia Township. At 10:15 is the second public hearing on the replacing a failed tile that is lateral to and a portion of rough tile east of Mitchell Road in Columbia Station. And then a regular annexation hearing on 94.0622 acres from Mean Township to the City of Elyria, Agent Attorney John Keys Walker. Under resolutions number 1, Job and Family Services bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Investments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
I did skip over advances and repayments because there
Thank
was
you.
none, and I just...
Thank you. I was
Really
paying
messed you up,
attention.
didn't Travel expenses.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under the Commissioners, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Good morning, Commissioners. At this time, I'd like to request an executive session at the conclusion of our regular board business with the specific purpose of talking about potential new hires. I have 2 or 3 I want to discuss with you, plus we have 2 or 3 matters of pending litigation that I would like to discuss further with you and get updates from legal counsel on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 10, instruct the clerk to advertise for bids for Lorain County office supplies. This notice will be published in the Chronicle Telegram on November 18th and 25th, and bids to be open at 2 p.m. on December 2nd in the Commissioners' Public Hearing Room.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. Were we able to, I read under new legislation from the state of Ohio that we can't contact vendors, but we need to have a vendors list that would go out to everyone so we get to the local people? Are we doing that?
All right, there's been a recent...
Notifying the local people, Yvonne?
No, we weren't, I mean, the Ohio Vice Code, we could not notify vendors.
Selected, but
Right.
we can send a notification. We
Occasion
include
to
them
our,
all.
yeah.
Right.
And we will be
Can't have a preferred
faxing the
list.
notice,
Right,
yeah.
so we can send them to them all?
Exactly,
Are
we could
doing
fax
that
over the
with this?
notice.
Okay.
May I
Are we-
ask
are
what
we-
we are
I'm sorry.
bidding?
Well, first, what you're speaking to is that AG opinion that
Right.
came out?
Correct, yeah.
I sent that down to Yvonne about a month ago.
Yeah,
And
nice.
asked that we establish a bidders list,
Yes.
and you have established that
There,
bidders
yeah,
list?
it's in our Oracle system.
I guess the question I have, and maybe not for you, maybe for council, is can we contact people to be on the bidders list? Or do we have to wait for them just like to fall into it?
That's what my questioning was, to make sure they see,
Well,
or
that-
know
that-
that there's an opportunity to bid, that's where
Right,
I'm
but
going
the bidders
to with
list
it.
won't do any good if nobody knows we have the bidders list. So is it, the chicken and egg, are we allowed to contact them and tell them about the bidders list? Does that violate the spirit of that AG opinion?
I don't think what we would be permitted to do is on project by project start, the idea of the bidders list is to create a permanent thing.
Right.
So I think we can go out to the community in general and say, this is something we want you to do, and we would solicit people to get in and get their name on the bidders list. So it's a general informational thing. What we can't do is with a specific project now go out and call people up and say, you know, we're going to be bidding a project, and individually and selectively solicit bidders
Well,
for a particular project. So
Why I brought that up is on my private end, is the organization I belong to, when a bid comes out, I am emailed immediately on a daily basis of a stack of bids on something that I subscribe to. And I didn't know if we were going to get into that same realm, so we can make sure the local guys all know they're coming out. If it's on a pre-selected list, can't we just send out a splash email of some sort, Yvonne, to notify them there's a bid coming up under your specified
I have a list of those vendors that we deal with on a daily, on a regular basis that, I was going to check with Jerry to see if I'm allowed to just email or fax over the notice itself.
Okay. Well, that's I was bringing up just because of the new AG's opinion.
What I'd like to do on this, Yvonne, is I'd like to use email and have a grouping list for each sector of the community. I'd also like the board to support getting with the Chamber of Commerce and the Community Development Department that has identified businesses in Lorain County and sending them out a standard form asking them to give us their information and resubmit it so that we can put them on that alert so that we have it in the database. But I think email is the way to go rather than trying to fax that.
Well, paperless is cheaper.
Right. We'll have to expend some resources, but I think we need to reach out to the community rather than waiting for them to reach to us.
Or just a lot of small business, our community just aren't as up to date on those type of things and aren't aware of looking for them.
Yes. Ron, don't you maintain a list of businesses in Lorain County, or does the Chamber maintain that list?
Chamber's supposed to maintain that. We'll check with them.
Would you work with the purchasing department, and Yvonne, would you come up with just a standard form of the information you'd like to have from them? And then maybe in conjunction we can do a mass mailing around the county, letting them know of the new bidders list and asking them to be on it. I also think we should update that on an annual basis.
Right.
So that should be a live project.
Well, I think what we've got going on in the county anyway, I think they'll be more available to us anyways. So.
Great.
Get what you want.
Thank you. And the item number 10 says that these bids are for office supplies. Can you elaborate just a little bit, Yvonne? Because the number 11 is specific.
Yeah. Good morning, Yvonne Newton, Purchasing Director for the Lorain County Commissioners. What I'm in the process of doing is basically using the United Catalog, which is a global catalog for any office supply company. They use the same book. All they do is change the cover. And what we have done was basically select various types of office supplies, pencils, calendars, toner cartridges, and so forth, and they're going to bid on those, and they're going to give us percentage off. And those items that we didn't send out for bid are also getting a percentage as to what they're going to give us on those items also. So it'll be a global one, and hopefully the county departments jump aboard, get these discounts, deal with one vendor so that we will be set for our office supplies for 2006.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Kowski?
Aye.
Kayla?
Aye.
Instruct the clerk to advertise for bids for the copy paper, paper products, trash liners, and cleaning products. This notice will be published in the Morning Journal on November 18th and 25th, and bids to be open at 2:30 in the Commissioners' Public Hearing Room.
Did you wish to say something?
Well, I'll wait for a motion for discussion, but yes, I do. You want me to go before? Yvonne, on the paper products and so forth, we had some issues during the year where we bid products and then people went over to pick up products, but they bought other products besides the ones that we bid. I know what you're trying to do, and we're pushing you too to do it, so I understand that, but are we going to resolve that? We're not getting the support out there we need, are we? We're bidding one paper towel. They don't like the paper towel, so they go there. Instead of taking that paper towel, they take another one, and they cost us more money. And it seems like it seems like you and I and our efforts are being wasted. That's not your fault, but how are we going to close that hole?
What I've done this time, Jim, is a little bit different with the bids, because usually when a department is getting something that was overpriced or wasn't what they wanted, I didn't know it.
Right.
Unless, you told me that, look, this vendor's giving me the wrong thing. What I've done this year is basically just like the supply bid. Put a percentage in there. So if we don't get, or we need something else besides what I bid it out, we want percentages off. We want guaranteed 30% off. And if you are not going to give us what we want, we need to be notified that you have changed the product or the product has went up so that I can bring it back to the commissioners and they can approve if they want to go a little higher.
Yeah, I think substitution of a similar product is fine. I don't think that we should allow people that are using our paper products from around the county, especially the ones that we're paying for, out of buildings and grounds, to go there and decide they want something different. That's
Exactly.
the list. That's it. That's all. I think we need to notify the awarded vendor that nothing other than what's on that list will be paid for by this county for county departments, period, done.
Exactly.
Okay, and I will support you in that.
Okay, and that's what I have put in this one. I've been a little bit stricter on this 2006 bids that's coming up. The vendors are going to really see there's going to be a difference in there. And I'm going to make sure that the departments, if you're having a problem, I need to know about it right away.
When you go out with the awards, I'm going to send them an additional letter telling them that if they provide materials that are not on this list, that they're not going to be paid.
Right. And I have, if you want to see that bid spec too, I have put it together so that you could take a look at it and make sure that those items are in there.
Great, good job. And Commissioners, I know there's something we've talked about, and we need to put a little bit of muscle and hustle behind enforcing the rules of the road, so to speak. So this is good for us, and we'll get some better economies out of this in the long run. We've just had a little problem at closure point, so we're going to get better at it.
I have one comment. Betty, wasn't the Community Alliance considering doing paper products such as copy paper? Is there any way we can collaborate with them to
Hi, Rebecca.
save some money for other municipalities in the county?
Well, I think I remember we talked about it at the one meeting that I attended, was we were going to work off of the bid specs the county already had, save the Alliance money, everybody else could jump on ours so everybody didn't have to have different bid specs. Did that get anywhere, Rebecca?
You want me to answer, Rebecca? Right. And so it should.
Unless it's not the correct answer, right?
If he's wrong, Rebecca, please correct him.
By the time I got around to doing this last year, the year was, we were in the middle of the year, and we were having problems with our vendors on our bids, such as picking up materials other than were on the list and billing us for them. I did not think it was in the best interest of the community or the Community Alliance at that point to try to opt in the Alliance members. This year, once we award the bid, I have every intention on behalf of the board notifying the Community Alliance and giving them a list of the vendors that we have discounts with and allowing the political subdivisions to opt into those bids if they want, and working with the downstream vendors. So it's really not the Community Alliance. We committed to sharing that information, and because of some problems we had, we did not do that. We will do that this year. Probably, I would say in January we make awards, right?
I did put that in there, Joe.
Okay.
You specified in the
Yes, I did.
specifications?
Yeah, that anyone in the county that's township, municipality is able to use our bid.
All we got to do is set up an accounting mechanism for them
Yeah.
over there. So we have to make sure that they set up that vendor in their system with a
Right,
vendor
exactly.
ID and an account to pick it up. But we're working towards that goal, Commissioner.
Okay.
And we remembered that from our meetings there.
All right, thank you.
Sounds good to hear it publicly, though. Thank you for raising the question and for your response. Was it okay, Rebecca? Was his response good? All right.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Enter into service agreement between the Board of Commissioners and White's Towing and Auto Service, Avon Lake, Ohio, for monitoring and towing services for the county. 42 companies received the RFQs, but only 2 responded, this being the most responsive. This agreement is for a 2-year period effective November 2005 through November 2007, containing a 30-day cancellation clause.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Receive and journalize and expedite a 2 annexation for 227.810 acres of land in Wellington Township to the Village of Wellington. And this will be placed on the agenda, agenda for the decision on December 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
This is the same one that we've said no to on numerous occasions.
I think it's an expedited too, though. We just have the right to approve.
It is the park property.
Right, it's the park
Right.
property. Jerry, what's going to be our responsibility in that?
Which part of no don't you understand?
Recall last time there was an issue once again, a procedural issue regarding the public notice prospect and so forth, but it's one of those annexations where the township has a right to send us objections, but again, it's a matter of reviewing, and I think there's 6 or 7 things that have to be done, and if those 6 and 7 things are met, we have to grant the annexation. If they are not met, we deny it. It is not a merit consideration where we decide such things as whether it's good or bad. It's
Too
just
large, too
procedurally
small.
whether they do what they need to do or not.
Or we don't have an opinion.
Do I have an opinion?
We don't have an opinion on it, whether we approve of it happening, but we have to grant it if they meet all the criteria.
Right.
That's what you've been arguing about.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Last time we found that they did not meet the criteria that they had to.
Madam Clerk, would you just deviate for a minute? Kirk Stewart has just come in with 2 more 4-H students. We'd like you to introduce them at the microphone. Well, you give a little
Tell us who you are, Kirk.
Yeah, tell us who you are, and then you introduce your students.
I'm Kirk Stewart. I'm with the county prosecutor. I have 2 young ladies here, Courtney and Lorain. Courtney is from...
Come up to the microphone, girls.
Go ahead.
I'm Lorain. I'm from Columbia, and I'm Courtney, and I'm from North Ridgeville.
All right, welcome. Thank you for coming. Go ahead,
To make
Teresa.
them do the pledge themselves?
No,
Okay.
no. That's why I'm in charge of this meeting. The answer is no.
Not next
Go
year.
ahead, Teresa. Well, but that's next year. This is this year. And guess what? You're not going to be in charge next year either.
Women rule.
Yay.
Mrs. Blair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Kayla.
Second.
Ms. Kowski.
No, you're supposed to
You're supposed to vote yes or no.
I didn't know we got through that part. I got confused.
Well, that's why you're not going to be in charge next year.
Accept the grant agreement in the amount of $500,000 between the State of Ohio Department of Development and Lorain County to be used to support the administrative activities of Lorain County Transportation District, and authorize County Administrator to execute on behalf of the Board.
Right. This is the TID money. Mr. Cordez, do you want to say anything briefly?
Far be it for me to be contrary to Madam President, but it's not the TID money.
It is not.
No.
I apologize.
Are you sure it's not the TID money?
This is for asbestos removal from the...
No, you're
No,
wrong,
you're
Jim.
on the wrong number.
Mr. was right, number 14, Jim.
I stand corrected. I
Yes.
apologize. I'm on number 15.
Mark that down, everyone. Mr. Cordez was in error today. First time in his life.
God, I checked off number 15. I had number 14. You're correct, Commissioner. That's the $500,000 from the
Did you hear
TID.
that?
We were right, Betty, as usual.
The, it does happen occasionally. This is completing the grant application. I have to return it down to the state, and it's really just the dotting of the i's, crossing of the t's, that what we will do and won't do with the funding, and we have a couple mechanical gyrations we need to go through with that, and I need to sign on behalf of the board saying that we'll be responsive in that grant, and I stand corrected. I'm sorry. I
That's
missed
not
number 14.
important, but what's exciting about it is that we got the money.
Well, it is, and I'm hoping to meet before Christmas and decide on
good.
projects
Wonderful.
for the upcoming 2000. Now, the interesting thing is the money is fiscal year 2006, 2007. For the record, we are in fiscal year 2006 for the state fiscal year, so we can start funding projects pretty quickly, at least the engineering. And I have been in considerable dialogue with the county engineer, and all 3 commissioners, the county engineer, myself, and Senator Armbruster, and I think there's one more member that constitutes it.
House of Representative member.
House of Representative member. So I think before Christmas, we probably should get together and have that meeting and get some projects moving.
Do we have this money earmarked for any specific project?
There was 4 projects named in the TID when we applied for the grant money. There was Griswold Road, Colorado Avenue, the north-south corridor.
Well, Colorado's completed, so we don't need it for that.
Oh, no, there's another big piece
From
of Colorado.
Road to Avon, the second
Yeah,
phase.
I call it all Colorado. I'm not sure what they call it when it leaves Lorain, 611.
611.
So to have a brief dialogue on it, it's anticipated that the first $190,000 of the 2.6 money will probably be prioritized towards getting 611 done because it's already a work in progress. That'll leave about $80,000 for 2006. You have 3 projects. You have the Griswold Road, you have the north-south corridor, and I got to be honest, the 4th project's escaping me for the moment. In that grant,
It's not Tower, is it?
No, it's nothing in Lorain, and I just can't catch. It's been a while since we've looked at this, but we've been doing a lot of work already on the north-south corridor, and it was thought that maybe we'll go in the direction of the north-south corridor. But that's for the TID to decide. But we've already expended some county resources on the north-south corridor. We would have to. The remaining $80,000 is not going to be enough to do any one project, so we're going to have to start something and phase something in, because we cannot access the second $250,000 until July 1st, 2006, which would be state fiscal year 2007. But it's exciting that we have $500,000 of resources here that was produced outside the county to work in the county, and that money will churn 4 or 5 times, be worth $2 or $3 million in our community here, and we got to keep working to bring those dollars here. Thanks again for being able to talk on the profit number on the agenda.
I believe you need a motion, Teresa?
Correct.
Also move.
Second.
Anything further? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
I guess we'll go to our first public hearing.
No, we
10
didn't do
o'clock.
the train station yet. Don't you want to do number 15? Jim's
I
one.
have like a minute or 2 left on my watch.
Yeah, the clock's fast. Let's get that one done.
Then we'll be under a different.
You want him to talk?
Sure.
And Resolution 05912, adopted November 9, 2005, instructing clerk to advertise for bids for removal, remediation of asbestos at 40 East Avenue, Elyria, Ohio train station. Amendment is to reflect notice, will be published in the Chronicle Telegram on December 19th and 26th. Mandatory pre-bid will be Thursday, December 29th, and bids to be open at 2 p.m. on Thursday, January 5th, 2006.
Commissioners, we're struggling with this project. We're moving the dates because we're having some back and forth with ODOT on getting this project moving. It's not a bad thing. It's a learning experience for us. There's a lot of requirements on how to spend this money, and we're trying to run some concurrent processes to speed up getting work done. So I asked that we advertise a week or 2 ago and dates in the future and get ready and have our package ready to immediately penetrate the market so we get ODOT approval. We had some minor defects in the package we submitted. We had to change a few things, and we're resubmitted, so I have to move the dates. But I'm committed to moving faster than we are, and I'm going to continue to try to run things concurrently so we can get some movement in this project. But I will say it's been a learning experience for us, and we'll continue to learn new experiences as we try to use these resources from outside the county. They're just laden with all kinds of requirements that we're not used to dealing with. But I believe once we get over some of the initial hurdles, we'll be more experienced. We'll be able to move a lot more rapidly through those funding pools. So,
Did they assign one entity to us yet? Or are we still working with 3?
No, see, we're still dealing with 3, and that's we're going to collapse all that funding together next year, but we got to finish this portion of it first. It will get easier next year, and thank you for remembering that, Commissioner. But we don't usually do this kind of work, so it's exciting for us to be learning, but it's also we're struggling a little bit. Please be patient with us. It's still a great project, and we're going to continue to. Hopefully, you won't see us again for a change, but if we have another problem, we'll change it again. We're going to keep moving on it.
Also move.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
This is a public hearing on the proposed vacation of an existing road right-of-way being of Quarry Road unimproved, original lot 39, Columbia Township, Lorain County, Ohio. The petition was received on July 19, 2005, filed by Brian Weber, care of the Hat Creek Company, with signatures of 11 Columbia Township residents. Petition was forwarded to the county engineer for review, and by letter dated September 21st, the engineer stated the legal description and map concurs with the current tax record and county records. However, an older tax map shows Quarry Road extended further west from Columbia East River Road. He recommends that the vacation be as described in the petition and any extensions thereof to the Rocky River. Parcels abutting the proposed Quarry Road vacation are all owned by the Hat Creek Company, Inc. Notices were also forwarded on July 25th as follows to Altel, Century, Columbia Gas, Lorain County Rural Water, Lorain Medina Rural Electric, Ohio Edison, ODNR, and Lorain County Planning Commission. Altel responded on August 15th stating they have no telecommunications facilities within the area. Lorain County Planning Commission responded on August 20th recommending the vacation. This property is all owned now by one owner and it has never been improved or used for the public. Columbia Township trustees responded on September 8th stating they have no objections. Resolution 05-819 adopted October 6th. Commissioners received and journalized this petition. Notice to vacate was published in the Chronicle Telegram on October 13th and 20th. Notices were sent to the clerk in Columbia Township and the 9 property owners. And the viewing was held Wednesday, November 2nd, 2005 at 10 a.m.
Since this is a public hearing, anyone who wishes to give testimony or comment is asked to be sworn in by the assistant prosecutor. So if you're going to comment, would you please stand and be sworn in?
Anybody who thinks they might testify. Do each of you swear or affirm that the statements you shall give shall be the truth as you shall answer unto God or under penalty of the law of perjury?
I do.
Bill Holtzman from the engineer's office, would you give comment on this, please?
Good morning, Commissioners. This section of Quarry Road is located off of East River Road near where Wildwood Park used to exist. It's a paper street, unimproved, and basically was like a rear service entrance into the Wildwood Park facility. And the Hat Creek Company owns properties all the way around this parcel, so they're the only ones that are affected by this vacation. So we have no further comments or objections to it.
Thank you, Bill. And Trustee Ken Roth, do you have any comments?
Good morning, Commissioners. Ken Roth, Columbia Township Trustee. Just wanted to confirm the communications that trustees have no objection to this vacation.
Thank you very much. Is there any property owner here who would like to testify? Okay, I accompanied...
Ron Twining stood up. Did you have something you wanted to state, Ron?
I was just going to affirm our Planning Commission took this matter up and made a recommendation.
Thank you.
And that recommendation was to approve?
Right.
Thank you, Ron. I accompanied Bill to the viewing, and it was a lovely fall day, and it was nicer than it is today. And the trees were beautiful. And I was curious if anybody had an indication why they were asking for the vacation, although that's not necessarily part of the hearing. I wondered if they were going to make hats there because they're a hat company, but anyway. Is there anyone else who would like to comment one way or another on this proposed vacation? Seeing none, I will move that we approve.
Second.
I disagree with you, but I will move to close the public hearing because I don't want to fight with our trusted clerk.
We have to close it and then make a motion? Okay.
She gave me
Did you
that
make the
evil
motion?
eye. Yes.
I second the motion to close the meeting.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
She's going to get one of them little clickers like the sisters used to have at school and click it when I make a mistake. I move to approve the vacation as requested.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Approved.
We're going to go back to our agenda
Yes,
until
ma'am.
10:15.
Number 16, under Children and Families Council, amend Resolution 05-557 adopted June 9, 2005, approving the Help Me Grow FYO 6 contracts. Said amendment reflects various increases and decreases in contract amounts effective July 1, 2005 through June 30, 2006.
I'm sure that Juan has the figures, but I did my own tallies, and it's apparently the decreases are about $933,000, and the increases are about $314,000. Is that about right? Give or take? Give or take. All right. Thank you, Juan. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Community Development Department, Authorize payment in the amount not to exceed $40,593.81 to Lorain County Treasurer in accordance with the Maximus Cost Allocation Report from various accounts.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Under the sanitary engineer, approve and enter an agreement with K. McCartney and Associates Mansfield for miscellaneous engineering services for Lorain County Airport on an as-needed basis.
Mr. Cortez, I just have one question. Originally, we had a proposal for a set amount, and then we decided to do a blanket. Is that the issue?
Yes, Commissioner. I didn't envision having the program that they were detailing to do. We may do some of that work. There's some work going on at the airport that upstream we may need to look at our sewer issues with. And I wanted to have the availability to have our engineer assist us with that if it was necessary. There's been some ongoing dialogue about some potential development out there, and I don't want anything that's outside the airport or around the airport that has to do with our sewers to stop what may be going on inside the airport. So we just need to have the availability of their services and be able to quickly task them should it be necessary.
Any questions, Commissioners? Also move.
Second.
Excuse me.
Call
Any
the
further
roll.
discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Can I wait and see what the audience has to say before I...
If you choose.
Yes.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Rummix, Oberlin. Last week, there was on the agenda something that had, I believe, $31,000 appropriated for something of this sort. This week, I see there is no cap or amount, and I'm just wondering if there is such a one or should be such a one.
Well, may I respond, and then you can fill in the original proposal was for $15,200 to do miscellaneous things, and it was compacted, and that's why my question was to Mr. Cordes. It was not specific. This is a general blanket purchase order, so to speak. Now you can fill in the...
Not just that it had the 15,000, but it assigned a task to do something. And I was not agreeable to the scope of that task. I want to be able to be more fluid with the assignment, with being able to ask them to do things. They were going to do a complete and comprehensive study and survey. I just didn't think I needed that. I need more specific, detailed work. And the key word there is may need. To support issues at the airport. So I just didn't want to pay for something that we didn't need at that point. So this is like being in standby.
Thank you. Last week I had been curious because there was recently, I'm glad to hear what you just said about the extent of work needed, because there had recently been the update of the master plan, which it had seemed to me would perhaps cover some of the activities that seem to be in that particular motion. I'm afraid I did not hear you particularly. There is a $15,000 cap on these activities? There
No,
is
that was the item as it appeared last week, and it
Right.
was for the airport and model the existing infrastructure, including sanitary sewers, storm sewers, and water mains.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jim has detailed that we pretty much have that information already, and he was not comfortable
Right.
paying for something we already have.
We have a lot of it, and then if the issues that the airport's working on don't see the light of day, I don't want to have paid for something that we may not be able to use. So I want to work those things collaboratively and have them work in conjunction with each other, not as individual plans, because then we just may end up with more material that we just don't need. So that's why I did not want to have an assigned task. And it's not going to be authorized unless it's necessary to support development out there.
Well, if you will, excuse me, is there some cap for the activities that these McCartney will do, or is it going to be coming back on individual projects as they need to do it?
It'll be done by open purchase order.
Thank you.
Cheryl, you have a question?
Well, it's still not clear. Shirley R. Johnson Oberlin. Elizabeth is more knowledgeable about the airport issues than I am, but it still is not clear to me from the answers we're getting, whether this is an open-ended kind of deal in terms of expenditures, or each time that they want to do something there, this is going to be approved by Cordez or by the commissioners.
This is a fee-for-service contract.
A fee-for-service contract?
As
But
assigned.
it has to be approved every time, or not?
It's an open, I told you it's going to be an open purchase order.
Whatever that means. Thanks.
Not to exceed a certain amount, or just,
It's just a fee-for-service. So if there's a need to take a look at the flow rates here or there, or the adequacy of the system feeding certain parts of the airports to support the development out there, we can have them come in and do that. And then we'll do that. We'll open up a blanket purchase order. The purchase order will be what dictates the amount or level of expenditures. So once we have the contract, then we open up a purchase order.
yeah, we authorize first before they can,
No.
no?
Coffee break.
What I was mentioning is I think their question is this engineering firm just isn't going to go out and start doing things. They have to get authorization through whatever chain of command we set up before they start a project. It's just this is authorizing the fee scale that they will be paid on when individual projects are authorized.
Thank you. And I believe we have other fee-for-service contracts with the same company for other types of work that they're doing on our behalf in the county.
We have others with this firm, and we have lots of firms that we do that with, because when we have to be proactive and reactive and fluid with our situations. So when the needs develop, we do talk about what level of work we want them to do. This just gives us a outsourced staff, so to speak, to assign work to as needed.
Okay?
Anything further? Ms. Blair?
I revoted.
Oh, okay, Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Okay, I guess we're going to go to the second public hearing on the rock ditch. This, let me try to get this first before I start.
We're doing 10:15?
Yes.
All right.
This second public hearing on the request by the Columbia Township trustees to replace a failed tile that is the lateral to and a portion of the rock ditch east of Mitchell Road. In accordance with section 6131.07 of the ORC, notice was given of a petition filed with the Board of Commissioners on May 15 to replace the failed tile that is lateral to and a portion of the rock ditch east of Mitchell Road. The construction and improvement is necessary and will be conducive to the public welfare and will benefit the petitioners and property owners in the watershed. The following is the course and termini of said proposed improvement to wit, commencing at a culvert number 030 on Mitchell Road, east to the main rock ditch, approximately 1,200 feet in length. The nature of the work is to repair and replace the existing failed tile lateral, which is part of the rock ditch. All costs of engineering, construction, and future maintenance will be assessed to the benefit of parcels of land. Viewing took place on Monday, August 29th at 10 a.m. at the location of the intersection of Mitchell Road and Osborne Road. Resolution 05655 adopted August 4th, scheduled the first public hearing on September 15th, published in the Morning Journal on August 10th and 17th, and 20 property owners were notified on August 5th. This second public hearing was scheduled today by Resolution 05768A, adopted on September 15th, directing the county engineer to prepare plans and propose assessment lists for the improvement to the rock ditch. And then in the meantime, I received a letter from the county engineer. Please be advised that the Columbia Township trustees, at the request of the rock tile petitioners, request that the petition hearing be continued until May 2006. The petitioners are proceeding with a pooling agreement amongst themselves to have the tile replaced. All of the necessary temporary easements have been secured, and they are currently collecting funds for the work. The project should go forward as soon as the funds are collected. However, the township would like the hearing to be continued in case unforeseen complications develop. Our office will submit the necessary reports and assessments in advance of the hearing in May if it becomes necessary to have the hearing.
Jerry, would it be appropriate for me to make a motion to continue the hearing? I don't have to close it, I can just continue it, huh? Because we're not closing it, we're continuing it there. Okay. Madam Clerk, I'd like to make a motion to continue this hearing. Do we
Can
have a
set
date specific?
I thought of May 11th at 10 a.m.
Until May 11th at 10 a.m. in 2006.
In 2006.
You have a 2006 calendar, I hope?
Yes.
Check my schedule.
Yeah.
You will still be.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Now we're
Sure, back to
We're
the
going to
agenda.
go back to number 19. Amend Resolution Number 05862 adopted October 20th and Resolution 05882 adopted October 27th to establish a public hearing and publication dates for the Rolling Heights Avenue, Sheffield Township, Sanitary Sewer Improvement District Number 112. Said amendment is to reflect the public hearing will be held at 11:15 a.m. on Thursday, December 15, 2005, and notice to be published in the Chronicle Telegram on November 18th and 25th, 2005.
And this change is being made due to
Error.
an error that was not on our part.
Correct.
We were not able to get the proper notice published, so we have to extend the dates because we have mandatory timeframes between the notice and when we can have the hearing.
And we make enough mistakes on our own, so we don't need to take credit for this one.
No, I wasn't.
We won't blame the morning journal
Second.
for this.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Under the engineer, schedule various public hearings on December 15, 2005, to be published in the Chronicle Telegram on December 1st, to replace county ditches on perpetual maintenance. 10 a.m. will be Martin's Run Lateral, Elyria Township. Total construction cost was $37,110.59. Collection would be $636.15 per year, with 21 parcels being assessed. 10:05 Foul Ditch, Elyria Township. Total construction cost was $873.72 per year, with 26 parcels being assessed. And then at 10:15, Bannister Ditch, Eaton Township. Total construction cost was $31,623.14. Collection would be $645.75 per year, with 15 parcels being assessed.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez, County Administrator?
Commissioners, it's been a pretty busy week. There's a couple updates. I was out at the college with your IT staff looking at their high-tech backbone. I had spoken to you about bringing distant learning to the county admin building and some super high-speed connectivity. It's like a internet on Viagra through the college. It was really exciting stuff to see that behind the scenes, what they're doing out there. And so we spent the afternoon out there, and we're rapidly closing in on some cooperative agreements to be able to put distant learning and to be able to do a lot of live feed training and support for economic development on the 5th floor, as we have discussed individually previously. And hopefully, as we mature that process more, I'll be able to have somebody come in and do some demonstrations for you, what's available and some costs associated with that. But it's very exciting to be able to do that here in the administrative building and to have the college as a partner in that. I also met with the developers and Mr. Twining, county engineer, and various ancillary personnel to start to discuss the sewer project going out to the quarry and various issues associated with that. We spent several hours working with their representatives. They have engaged local legal representative, and we're starting, I guess, the preliminary stages of negotiation. Mr. Twining, would that be a suitable term on moving that? I'm very, very comfortable that things are progressing nicely, although I will tell you they have a very aggressive time frame that we need to get things done in. So we don't have the ability to miss a beat with this project, and that's once again in support of what you did about 2 weeks ago to jump out there to that engineering. Had you not let out there, I would have had been asking this week. Our times are so short. They need a sewer in the ground in about 18 months. I asked them to go 20 to 22. Our engineers think it'll take 24. So we're going to have to round a few of these square corners off and figure out how to get this done. But we've got to support this project. So it was really good meetings. I also met with Carlisle Township and Elyria, and we're reinvigorating discussions on cooperative agreements between the two political subdivisions. You hosted them here for lunch in the administrative building, and we will be hosting them again on the Monday after next to have just dialogue, discussions, and positions, and how people feel and why they feel that way, and how we can feel better about the relationships. And I don't want to go into too much more, but that'll be good for all of us. And Mr. Kalo and I also spent a very late evening working with the City of Lorain on some various sewer issues. I thought those conversations were also very fruitful. Maybe Mr. Kalo wants to elaborate more on that, but it's been a busy, short week for us already. So those are just some of the projects ongoing that the board has in the works, and they're all to improve the community. I have here a late account transfer request and a purchase order from the clerk of courts. It's his funding. It's for equipment for the new North Ridgeville office. Things are moving rapidly with that office. This is funding that he has available to him. He's asked that we authorize the transfer and the purchase order to push that project ahead. I'm sorry it came late, but they're rapidly pushing getting that office open, and I hope you would support that. So I would need a resolution for the account transfer and the purchase order.
Two separate or one?
I think you can do them in the same resolution. Shelley, is that acceptable?
Well, you could do one and specifically state each in the resolution.
Okay.
I move for the account transfer and what else?
And
The
the
purchase.
authorization of the purchase order.
Okay. I move for both transactions.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Can you wait 1 second?
Yeah, we're
We
going to
can wait too, Lori.
As long as you'd like.
I hate when they do this at the last minute. Okay.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
I also have a request for a resolution to extend the time frame on the substantially complete date for our new parking lot behind the Justice Center. We had some very rainy days over the last 6 weeks or so that prevented them from properly compacting and laying the blacktop. I reviewed this. I believe it's a legitimate request. It's a allowable request under the contract. Normally, I would just deal with this administratively, but under this contract, it requires a change order. So that requires your resolution of support for that change order. It's a proper request upon their part. They were not able to properly lay that blacktop over there because the substrate was staying too wet, and they couldn't bring the trucks and the bulldozers over it. And I don't think that there's any problem with granting an extension.
Does this have anything to do with the depth of the...
Well, we're still working on that issue too, Commissioners. New information was brought forward at a mediation session with your legal representatives, and I think that's one of the issues we need to talk about in executive session. But the request by them is an allowable request under the terms and conditions of the contract, and the factors that they list there are accurate factors to make that request. The other issue would be separate from this request.
Thank you.
This is just, how much more time are they asking for?
I think it was about 2 weeks, Commissioner.
Okay.
Also move for approval.
Second?
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
I don't know if you already, one of you was going to bring that up.
I gave a note to Teresa that I think we ought to have a proclamation, and I think he ought to come and get it at one of our meetings.
That would be fine, so I'm just going to let that sit.
Or back.
It must be in my box that I have.
You have an inbox, Teresa? Yeah, I think we ought to do
Big
note
box.
that.
Hi.
Betty, do you want this back?
No.
Give
You
it
want
to
this?
Teresa, so she'll double check on it, okay? Thank you.
Then that would conclude my remarks this morning. Thank you, Commissioners.
Notice that I did not say that this morning. Mr. Cable said that.
Mr. Ennis, Assistant County Prosecutor.
Just as indicated earlier, I need to have an executive session with the commissioners regarding a couple of pending litigation matters.
Commissioners report?
Commissioner Laurie?
No report today.
My turn, Commissioner?
Yes, Commissioner Ted.
Just checking. Yeah, as Jim was talking about, it's been a very fruitful couple of weeks. The regional working together process of government agencies. We were able to work with our Lorain County Port Authority, Mr. Twining, Lorain Community Development, City of Lorain, Mr. Prudoff, and Lorain City Council on an expansion and retention deal with Chemical Corporation. We're going to expand and add about 40 jobs paying anywhere from $16 to $22 an hour, which is a very nice addition to the City of Lorain and Lorain County. And as he spoke about, we had a very late meeting working on sewer issues with the City of Lorain also, which is a big issue out there. Engineer Carney joined us also. And I'd also like to bring up, I was hoping Mike Chandler would be here from downtown Lorain and the main streets. On November 19th, they're doing an America Unchained event throughout the county, the state, and a national effort, asking people on November 19th and through the holidays to buy from local people. So that always excites me, so I'd like to urge everyone to buy local, America Unchained.
Because
Thank
you're
you.
one of them,
That's right.
Thank you. To continue, give one to Lori too, please. Continuing from a different venue, I'd like to commend the Oberlin Historical Society and all those who participated in the dedication of the historical marker at Oberlin's Westwood Cemetery, which occurred on Veterans Day. It was a very, very nice ceremony. And if any of you have not been there, you need to go. It's a wonderful cemetery, 47 acres, and there are over almost 10,000 people buried there, including Civil War veterans. And our Lorain County Visitors Bureau has put together a wonderful pamphlet that is called A Cultural Excursion Through Civil Rights History. And it just tells you some of the wonderful sites, and there's a map here. These are available in the administration building or from the Visitors Bureau. We also were treated to a tour by Margaret Christian, and she showed us some sites. I'd been there before, but I didn't know the history behind some of these things, so it was a wonderful site. On Saturday, November the 12th, I traveled to Akron to the Voices and Choices, which continues its march across Northeast Ohio, gathering opinions from some 900 participants at the Rhodes Arena in Akron. As you know, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. Voices and Choices is a project of the Fund for Our Economic Future, an unprecedented multi-year collaboration of 70 philanthropic organizations from across Northeast Ohio dedicated to improving the economic competitiveness of our 15-county region. It is directed by America Speaks, a nonprofit organization committed to elevating the role of the people's voice in public decision-making. And their executive director, Carolyn Lukensmeyer, was our featured speaker at the summit the Alliance held in October. So we have an in, and this is going to be ongoing all next year. So anybody who is interested in participating or would like more information, they can get it from Rebecca Gray, who is the administrative coordinator from the Alliance. Rebecca's here this morning. Stand up, Rebecca, so you can see who she is. Okay. The lady seated next to me at the Voices and Choices, which is a very interesting lady. She was from Youngstown in Mahoning County, but she worked in Pittsburgh. But she was going to school in the greater Cleveland area. Very interesting. And finally, this is a public announcement, and you'll hear more about this, but I want to make it today to piquet the interest of the political subdivisions in the 9-county area of Lorain, Medina, and Huron County. The District 9 Natural Resource Assistance Council will be meeting on Friday, December the 2nd at the Agricultural Center, and we will be beginning application availability for Round 4 funding, which will be approximately $1.5 million for our Round 4, which we will hopefully receive in the middle of next year as soon as the state forwards it to us. So you will be receiving more information about that. If anybody has specific questions about that, they can call Joyce Parks, my administrative assistant, and she can forward the information to you or hook you up with the website, and it's readily available there. We have some excellent projects in Lorain County that have been funded together with the other 2 counties. We're part of District 9. So those are my remarks for today. Thank you.
Just to note that the Commissioners will be not meeting next Thursday, November 24th, because it's Thanksgiving, and then we'll also be closed on Friday, November 25th. Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Would you like to do the public hearing?
We don't want to adjourn this meeting? We don't want to adjourn our regular meeting, go into the public hearing?
Public hearing on the proposed annexation of approximately 94.0622 acres in Eaton Township to the City of Valeria. Attorney John Keys Walker is the agent. This petition was filed in the Board of Commissioners office on September 14th for proposed regular annexation of 95.225 acres in Eaton Township to the City of Valeria. September 15th, letters were issued to Mark Stewart, Lorain County Auditor, and Ken Carney, Lorain County Engineer, asking for review and accuracy of the petition and map, and the public hearing was scheduled on the 64th day, which is today, by Resolution 05779, September 22nd. September 19th, certificate of filing was received from the County Auditor on the petition, the map, and the legal description. September 27th, received a letter from the County Engineer reviewing the map and description, discovering an overlap of the proposed annexation. The Bender Road right-of-way, 40 feet wide, was previously annexed to the City of Valeria by Resolution 04-598 on August 12th. The map and legal for the proposed annexation should be modified to exclude the Bender Road right-of-way. October 4th, certificate of filing was received from the County Auditor on receiving the said petition. October 4th, received an affidavit from Attorney John Keys Walker notifying residents and clerks. October 10th, the affidavit of a notice to publish in the Chronicle Telegram was on October 6th. October 17th, Agent Keys Walker submitted an amended legal description and map to reflect that the territory to be annexed does not include Bender Road, which changes the acreage from 95.225 acres to 94.0622 acres. October 18th, letters were issued to the County Auditor and Engineer to review on the amendment. October 19th, ordinance number 2005-132 from the City of Valeria was received stating the services to be provided and established road maintenance upon said annexation. October 21st, certificate of filing was received from the auditor on the amendment, map, and legal description. October 28th, letter was received from the county engineer on the review of the proposed petition for 94.062 acres in original lot 71 and 90 of Eaton Township to the City of Valeria. The petition was prepared by John Keys Walker and or Howard T. Lane of Favre Keys Walker and Donovan Law Office, acting agents for Sugar Chestnut LLC, care of Forest City Land Group, Inc., the sole owner of the 2 parcels. The legal description and map accurately despite the proposed annexation and is adjacent and contiguous to the City of Valeria.
Since this is a public hearing, Jerry, you need to again swear in anybody who wishes to testify.
Anybody who anticipates testifying or thinks they might want to say anything, I ask you to raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the statements you will be giving shall be the truth as you shall answer under God or under penalty of the law of perjury.
I do.
Thank you. Attorney John Keys Walker.
Thank you. Good morning. I have booklets which contain some information for the commissioners and the clerk, if I may approach and provide those to you.
May I just interrupt, Commissioner? Do we want to identify whether trustees are here or anybody from the city is here? Because again, this is a regular annexation, so we technically have 3 parties. We have the petitioner, who Mr. Keys Walker represents. Is there anybody here on behalf of the township?
I'm Dick Connectus, the administrative assistant to the Eaton Township trustees, and I'll represent their interests.
And is there anybody here on behalf of the city? Okay, our usual progression then is we proceed to let the petitioner make his presentation. We then proceed to the township, then to the city, and then finally, if there are citizens who wish to make comments, we get to them.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, John.
Thank you, Ms. Blair. By way of an opening statement, I represent and am the agent for Sugar Chestnut LLC. They're seeking the annexation of parcels owned by them in Eaton Township to the city of Elyria. The total acreage on those parcels is 94.0622 acres. With me this morning is James Martinowski, Vice President of Forest City Land Group, which is the sole member of Sugar Chestnut LLC, which is a limited liability company. We're prepared to and will present the basic information on an annexation here this morning. And we, just for the information of the commissioners, there is an agreement relative to this annexation, which has been signed by Sugar Chestnut and by, as I understand it, just lately by the Eaton Township trustees. It has not yet gone before the city of Elyria. We do not anticipate a problem with that. But what we're going to be doing this morning is presenting the case for annexation and asking the commissioners to adjourn this hearing at the close of the case and any public comment to allow the signing of that document by the city of Elyria so that we protect the Eaton Township trustees and make sure that that agreement is indeed executed by the city. So we will be asking to adjourn the hearing at the end for the subsequent submission of that agreement to the commissioners as a closeout on this. And with that, I'm prepared to present Mr. Martinowski's testimony.
Fine.
And I don't know where you want him to stand, or?
Right, the microphone will be fine because the TV can pick it up then.
All right.
Jerry, is there any problem that Elyria hasn't signed this agreement or any agreement on this annexation?
Well, what he's saying is, if I understand him, is it's going to be their desire to, in essence, continue this, to have that submitted and added to the record at the end of the hearing. So we won't be making a decision. It's similar to other annexation hearings where we've had hearings and the parties want to talk about it or work it out. Or
Sounds like they're putting a deal together that's equitable for everybody.
I don't want to take the wind out of that, but I'm familiar with these proceedings for quite some time, and I know the township and the city have been working together. Although I think it's probably the general desire of the township to keep everything in the township, I think there have been some discussions where they recognize that some parcels are suitable to go into the city. I know as part of these continuing discussions, they did form a JED for another area, and that is staying in the township. So there's a dialogue going on in which the city and the township are working together and kind of mutually coming to an agreement that there are some areas that necessarily have to be annexed, but there are other areas that the city is agreeing to form a JED, and I think they're working on other things in the future. So there seems to be a pretty good give and take here as to what they're doing.
Just seems to me that that agreement should have been in place before we even had this hearing, but that's fine. We'll proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Martinowski, will you please state your full name and address?
James Martinowski, 1050 Terminal Tower, 50 Public Square, Cleveland, Ohio.
And are you the Vice President of Forest City Land Group Incorporated?
Yes, I am.
Is Forest City Land Group Incorporated the sole member of Sugar Chestnut LLC?
Yes, it is.
And does Sugar Chestnut LLC own, and is it the sole owner of the territory proposed to be annexed in this proceeding?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If you would turn in the booklet you have in front of you to page 3, or to tab 3. Is that the petition for annexation?
Yes, it is.
And is that your signature on the petition?
Yes, it is.
And the territory proposed to be annexed has been revised subsequent to the filing of the petition?
That's correct.
And that was for the purpose of taking out of the territory proposed to be annexed one half of Bender Road, which had already been previously annexed?
That is correct.
Okay. So if you will turn to Exhibit 1, is that a map of the territory proposed to be annexed?
Tab 1.
Yes, sir.
Tab 1. Yes, it is. That's correct.
Okay. And if you will turn to tab 2, is that the legal description of the territory proposed to be annexed?
94. Yes, it is correct.
Okay. And did Sugar Chestnut LLC cause to be served notice to the clerk of Eaton Township and Elyria Township, or Elyria City, in connection with this petition?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And is the document at tab 4 a copy of that notice, the original of which is with the clerk?
Yes, it is correct.
Okay. And if you will turn to tab 5, did Sugar Chestnut LLC cause to be served notice to the owners of the property, including the property adjacent and directly across the street?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And is Exhibit 5 the affidavit and proof of service of that notice?
It is.
If you'll turn to tab 6, did Sugar Chestnut cause notice of a public hearing to be published in the Chronicle Telegram, a newspaper in general circulation in the county?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And is that item at tab 6 the notice to the clerk and the affidavit of and proof of that publication?
Yes, it is.
If you will turn to tab 7, did Sugar Chestnut request the City of Elyria to adopt an ordinance indicating what services would be proposed?
We have.
Provided to the proposed territory?
We have requested.
And is tab 7 a copy of that ordinance as enacted by the City of Elyria?
Yes, it is.
If you will turn to tab 8, did Sugar Chestnut propose an amendment to the petition to eliminate Bender Road pursuant to the county engineer's comments on this petition?
That's correct, we did.
Okay. And is Exhibit 8 that proposed amendment?
Yes, it is.
And Exhibit 9, if you will turn to that, is it that the engineer's comments concerning the proposed amendment?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. You're familiar with the territory proposed to be annexed?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Is the territory unreasonably large in size for annexation?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Is any street divided or segmented by a boundary line of the territory proposed to be annexed?
No, I'm not aware of any.
Okay. Could you speak as to the issue of whether, on balance, the general good of the territory proposed to be annexed will be served by the annexation?
Yes, it will be.
And in what ways will it be, sir?
It'll be serviced by the services from the City of Elyria, police, fire, and sewers.
And will this allow for the development of the territory proposed to be annexed to its highest and best use?
Yes, we believe so.
And what is the anticipated highest and best use for which it will be developed?
It'll be developed as residential use.
Okay. And on balance, will the benefits to the territory proposed to be annexed and the surrounding area outweigh the detriments to those areas?
Yes, we believe so.
Okay. And in what way will that occur?
Again, by supplying the services from the City of Elyria.
Okay. And with respect to the surrounding areas which will not be annexed but will be in close proximity to the area proposed to be annexed?
As far as supplying services?
Yes, or any other benefits?
Yes, we believe it's a benefit to the area, yes.
Okay. If the commissioners have no question, that will be our presentation on this. And again, we would ask that for the benefit of the Eaton Township that the commissioners hold the hearing open as to, for the sole purpose of receiving the annexation agreements as items to be considered in connection with this petition.
Do the commissioners have any questions at this time? Jerry, you have recommendations for us?
I guess we'd move next to the trustees to see if
Okay.
they wish to make a presentation.
All right, Mr. Connectus, did you want to speak on behalf of Eaton Township then? Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Richard Connectus. I'm the administrative assistant to the Eaton Township trustees. I represent their interest in this matter. The Eaton Township trustees have executed the contract for this annexation, and contingent upon the city of Illyria's agreeing to execute their portion of the contracts, the Eaton Township trustees confirm that they have no opposition to this annexation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I believe that Jerry asked and there was no city official present to make a statement. All right, is there anyone else here who would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition to this annexation? Sir, did you want to comment?
Yes.
Please come to the microphone. State your name.
My name's Pete Turnus. I'm on Chestnut Ridge. If you go east on Chestnut Ridge, I'll be the first landowner where this lot starts. I'm sure you have the same map we do. I don't really have a problem with any annexation, with the exception I do have a problem with it going to Illyria. And I would hope the commissioners, you've done a real good job. We're going to really botch this up if we go to Illyria. If you come down Bender Road and then come down to Chestnut, that fits real well with City of North Ridgeville. What you're going to do is put a little finger out there of Illyria. Last year, Illyria had basically Bender Road. We never saw a snowplow there once. Ridgeville Police come down Bender Road. They come to Eaton Township line, they continue up to Chestnut Ridge and go back, and they're right back in the city of North Ridgeville again. I never saw a Illyria policeman there. And my idea is that I think if you really look at the map, you can say, this doesn't really look right. We're putting a little finger out here. And I know Forest City wants it, and I'm not against Forest City, but I am against this going to Illyria. If you go down Route 57, a good testament of that is the deplorable road that we have on Route 57. Where would the township or the Chestnut Ridge be taken care of? Would it be still taken care of by the county commissioners, or would that be Illyria then? Or
They probably have a cooperative agreement between the township and the county and municipality, like in other annexations that are done, depending where roads bisect and intersect. I would assume that's what they've done in the past.
Well, you've done a real good job at Chestnut Ridge, and I'd like to thank you for the job you've done there. And Eaton Township's done a fantastic job on Bender Road, but I just don't know what's going to happen after that, as far as that part goes. That's the only complaint.
Route 57 issue, Commissioner Blair and myself sit on NOAC, and they just received how much in funding, Commissioner, towards Route 57 from federal funding to redo 57. Mayor Grace has been working on it for a few years, so I know that issue of the road will be cleared up in the next couple of years. When you said the deplorable condition of the road.
Can we make it that long?
We don't have a choice. So. We don't have a choice on it. It's a lot of money.
Well, I'd really like you to take a look at the map and where it's going and how it joins in with Ridgeville, and I don't see any problem with Forest City going to Ridgeville. That's between you and them, but it doesn't make any sense to put it in Illyria. You're just putting a finger out there, and they're not going to provide any services. And Ridgeville practically comes down there as far as medical and police, and it becomes confusion. Are you Illyria? Are you Ridgeville? Are you Eaton Township? You've really got, you're going to have a hodgepodge if we do it this way. That's my feeling, and I'll let it go with that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Turnus, for your comments. I don't know. Anyone else?
Well,
Jerry?
I don't think he was sworn in.
Sir. Fine, come on. Jerry, swear him in, please.
John, I think we'll go ahead with the citizen remarks, and if you have questions or want to address that, we'll do that.
Hey, my name's Henry Sunderman. I'm also...
No, he has not.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth as you shall answer under God or under penalty of the law for surety?
My name's Henry Sunderman, and I live on Chestnut Ridge also, and it really is an unnatural fit for Lyria to take over that property, I don't think. 'Cause, you know,
You do or don't, sir? I'm sorry.
I don't think it's a
Thank
natural fit for Lyria to take over that property. I really think if anybody's going to be annexing, it should be North Ridgeville because of all the things that Mr. Furnace just said there. And also, I'm a little confused about this saying that Forest City owns all that property because now that Del Webb, they put them houses back there, that development, Waterbury, I believe it was, and now they said Del Webb is like putting them houses behind me. Now, I had a phone call from somebody from Del Webb, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and said that they bought that property from Forest City, the property right behind my house.
Where do you live?
I live on Chestnut Ridge, you know, just a little bit east of Durkee. That they called me up wanting to buy my property, to put a driveway where my house is, and they said they bought the property from Forest City. So I'm just a little confused about the facts. I mean, who actually owns that property?
John, can you or do you wish to respond to this gentleman?
Certainly the owner of the property is Sugar Chestnut LLC, which is owned by the sole member Forest City Land Group. There may be discussions, and Del Webb may be involved in the possibility of discussing building on the property, but the current owner is Forest City.
Well, that's not what the guy who called me up told me.
And I can't.
I got the guy's name and phone number at home. I should have bought me, but he called me up and said he was with Del Webb. He bought the property from Forest City, and they were putting that behind my house. He called me up with the intention of wanting me to sell my property to him, which I told him I wasn't interested in doing.
Well, according to John, this company is the owner now. I guess he can't sell you something he doesn't own.
Maybe he has an option on it or something, but I'm sure we can verify through the county records who owns that property. Jerry, can't we?
Sure.
Well, that's all I got, but like I said, it's really not a natural fit. You know, Liberty would have to come so far just to maintain the roads, to plow the roads and everything. It doesn't really make any sense for anybody but North Ridgeville if it was to be annexed, but I prefer it to be Eaton Township. I mean, I moved there 20 years ago, not to look at cluster homes. I moved to be in the country a little bit. You know, I don't mind the Waterbury. Everybody's got their own individual house. They're all different, but you know, these cluster homes, they're so unimaginative. They're so unattractive. You know, and it's nothing that I'm looking forward to looking behind my property. You know.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, could you repeat your name?
Sunderman, S-U-N-D-E-R-M-A-N.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else who wants to comment? Okay.
We would go back to the petitioner and see if they want to respond to the comments made.
John, do you have any comments, further comments?
Just to briefly respond to a couple of the comments. First, on the ownership issue, obviously the engineer's office confirms the ownership in connection with this. They don't just rely upon our representation, and they have done so. But I think where the confusion may come is that Sugar Chestnut also owns land immediately to the north of this, as you can see from the map, and parts of that land have been sold to Del Webb. So again, I wasn't participant in the phone call, neither were my clients, but that may be where the confusion arises as to the ownership that Mr. Sunderman spoke of. With respect to the Elyria versus North Ridgeville portion of the comments made by both the members of the public, I point out to the commissioners that Elyria does border this property along Bender Road for some 2,200 feet. This is not an unusual configuration. This isn't a skinny line getting out to a larger parcel. This is, in fact, one of the longest boundaries here is indeed with the city of Elyria. So I'd just like to point that out.
Thank you, John.
Does it abut North Ridgeville? Where's the North Ridgeville line?
To the north.
To the north?
John, could you just explain a little bit the situation with the road, Chestnut Ridge? Is that going to remain, that's going to remain Township Road?
That does remain in the township, yes. It is not.
It is a township road, Chestnut Ridge is.
Well, it's a county road, but it will remain within the township's territory. In other words, it is not a part of the parcel proposed to be annexed.
Not just the road.
Thank you for that clarification.
Just out of curiosity, have you had any discussions with North Ridgeville on this annexation?
Okay, Mr. Martinowski.
Yes, we've had discussions with North Ridgeville and, of course, with Elyria, who we're working with. But it also wanted to point out that this is in the state mapping. I think it's called the 208 sewering plan. This is in the Elyria district for sewering already.
Okay.
So that was really, decided well before we've done anything with this.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Having,
We should ask, does the township wish to make any more comment?
No, not at this time. That particular part, according to our understanding, is in the NOACA plan, part of the Elyria Sewer District assignment.
is a motion to continue.
And are there any other residents that want to make any further comment?
No?
Okay.
Okay.
Now you can close.
Do we want to continue this to a date certain? Would that be agreeable? To a date certain? How many days do you want? 30, 45?
I think 30 will probably do it if that's all right with the commissioners.
Well, it depends on, well, this is November and December. Well, our last meeting of the year is December 15th.
At the note at the bottom, if it was, once the hearing is closed, the board has 30 days, the decision by the
but we're
board
not
would be
gonna-
Saturday, December 17th.
We're not going to
but-
close it.
Correct, but it still would be the same date if we're looking at 30 days.
No.
December 15th is our last board meeting, so it would be December 15th.
Well, that's what I said. You weren't listening to me, Tracy. You were so busy thinking. Yes, you were. You were thinking. Do we want to make it December 15th, or do you want to carry it over into January?
December 15th, I think we could get it done with the city.
December 15th
We have a
it is.
real full schedule on December 15th. We're just mentioning it.
Pack a lunch.
What I would anticipate doing...
Pardon me, sir?
What I would anticipate doing would simply be submitting the documents so that we don't intrude into your full schedule on the 15th.
Well, we can have you for Christmas, too. You want them at 11?
You got 11:15 already, don't we?
We don't, we're just going to accept the documents, correct? We're not going to have a whole public hearing.
Well,
we're just going to put them on the agenda.
Just going to
for
go on the
decision.
agenda, yeah.
Is that the desire of the commissioners? Then we would continue this for the sole purpose of submitting that document. There would be
From
no
Elyria.
further testimony or
Right.
evidence submitted at that hearing.
Yes.
You don't want us to make a decision by that day, John?
Make a decision on that date, yes.
Okay.
No,
As long-
you
we
will
would-
then have,
That's what I'm
you
saying,
will
we have to
then
have a
have
hearing.
30 days from that, because we're continuing the hearing. So just so you understand, John, we will then have 30 days from that hearing, because they're submitting evidence. And
So we'll
that
just
may-
journalize whatever evidence on that
Right.
date, and then 30 days from
But
that.
there will be no
Okay.
further testimony. They could, but you will have up to 30 days.
Oh, okay, all right, that's what I was asking, you know, open or close.
So, I mean, we could just put them right on at 9:30. I mean,
9:30, John?
What a way to begin.
9:30.
I don't know where you want me to squeeze them.
11 o'clock, I said. You
Oh,
got
right
something at 11?
before?
Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, that shouldn't
That's
take
fine.
long. We've already heard all the testimony.
or 10:30.
Well, now see, you become more flexible.
What are our choices?
10:30.
10:30 it is.
10:30 is a good time, Teresa, I'd agree with that.
Since the majority of the board seems to think 10:30 is a good time, I will move that we continue this hearing to Thursday, December the 15th at 10:30 a.m. Anything else I need to include in the motion, Jerry?
Commissioner, I would just like to repeat that so everybody clarifies. What we are doing is we are continuing this hearing to December 15th at 10:30 for the sole purpose of allowing the submission into evidence of an agreement between the township and the city and the petitioner. There will be no further testimony. There will be no further public notice in the newspaper of this hearing. And just to clarify your earlier question, Commissioner, there are two different types of annexations. There is one type of annexation where all the parties agree and you must submit the written agreements in the beginning.
And this isn't it.
That's not this type of hearing. This is a regular annexation, but I just think they're submitting this document as part of their evidence. So
Okay.
after I thought about it, I realized what you were talking about. There is another form of annexation in which the paperwork and the agreements do have to be submitted right from the beginning, but that's not this kind.
Thank you for clarifying that.
There's too many types of annexation.
There are too many types of annexations.
Just to clarify that one.
Okay, Madam Clerk, call the roll,
I don't
please.
have a second.
Don't have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Lori.
You're welcome.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll look
Public
forward
comment?
to seeing you on the 15th. Yes, ma'am. Anyone in the audience who wishes to speak who hasn't had an opportunity so far? David? Yeah. Oberlin City Councilman-elect.
Thank you, Commissioner. David Ashenhurst, Oberlin. First of all, for the youth and government representatives here today, you've seen something of a representative commissioners meeting with some additional material that doesn't always come up, but is part of their regular business. And I think we want to welcome you here as well. We are citizen observers of this body and have been for some time, and we hope, I think, that you come back sometime just to see how the commissioners work. I'm now going to be joining a city council where we have public citizens sitting in the audience, and we actually have youth members on some of our boards and commissions now. So down in Oberlin, and I believe 2 students are from JVS as well into those meetings. So we hope we see you in the chambers of government as citizens as well as eventually as government appointees or elected officials yourself. I've missed the last couple of meetings. I even missed watching one on television. So I wanted to start out by saying thank you for the invitation to the tour of the Transportation Center, and I both missed the tour to my regret, but I also missed any comments you made about how that tour went. So I hope I can hear about that later. I was a poll worker down in Brighton Township on Election Day, and I was actually quoted in the newspaper about how I thought it went, but it wasn't with my name. So I just wanted to let you know that I think there were some issues about getting the machines set up, but once the poll workers had things going, it seemed like everybody, at least where I was, found electronic touchscreen voting very acceptable indeed. I've also been down to Columbus on the farmland for a statewide farmland preservation conference, which several of us from Lorain County have been to the last couple of years. Jim Skeels couldn't make it this time, but I had talked about this with him beforehand. And Commissioner Blair, I appreciate your mentioning the Clean Ohio funds and that next round of NRAC grants. That was discussed, as well as agricultural easements. Remind the public and commissioners that we've been having meetings in Lorain County under the auspices of the Firelands Land Conservancy, which is our local land conservation and open space organization. There will be a meeting at JVS tonight, which will actually be talking about agricultural easements and conservation easements, and there will be representatives from the state Department of Agriculture at that meeting. I too was at the Westwood Cemetery dedication, and I saw Commissioner Blair there. Wasn't able to say hello by the time everybody else was through saying hello to her. I'm actually also going to a wind power conference in Oregon, Ohio tomorrow. Wanted to make a little commercial also, because you won't be meeting next week. Before you meet again, there will be a business-to-business, minority business enterprise conference going on at Lorain County Community College. under the auspices of the Lorain County Urban League. It's about a 6-hour meeting, I believe, on November 30th, but I know they would be glad to see any of you for any part that you could attend, in addition to the overall networking that will be going on there all day. On December 1st, when you next meet, there will be a statewide conference here, actually, called The Future of Ohio's Lake Erie Basin, Balancing Land Use and Water Quality. And this is billed as a conference for public officials, planners, water quality groups, business, community, and environmental leaders, educators, developer, and building industry leadership. The website where you can find out more about this is the North Coast Building and Industry Association, the BIA, northcoastbia.com is where more of this is. And there are a couple of agendas in the back of the room. I think your meeting will be up against the beginning of keynote speaking there, but I would also remind you that in the afternoon they're expecting Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur to speak, as well as Samuel Speck, the director of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, on the Lake Erie Balanced Growth Initiative. And there are breakout sessions in the afternoon which are detailed in the agenda and also look incredibly interesting. And you're there, so I won't even mention December 2nd. She'll do that. And also, just because of when the next meeting's tape will be on, the Lorain County Fair Housing Board is also part of an event on fair housing in Lorain County that will be on Monday, December 5th. And I realize we will all have sort of forgotten it by that time, but because this tape will still be on the air right until December 1st, I think, it's probably worth mentioning that now, that through the Community Development Office of Lorain County, you can find out more about that meeting on December 5th, also through the Lorain County Reinvestment Coalition. Thank you.
David,
Being a-
you're not allowed to miss any more meetings.
David, I can't wait till you take office, 'cause I think all of us are going to come sit at city council with Shirley and Elizabeth, and we're sitting and talk back to you, I think.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Have a good Thanksgiving, too.
Where is that meeting on December 1st? Where is that being hosted?
Spitzer Conference
Thank
Center,
you.
Lorain County Community
Thank you.
College.
All
Thank
right.
you, Commissioner.
Shirley, you up again?
Yes, ma'am. I want to comment on what David said. I'm glad he mentioned the students that were here. I think it's important for them not to consider themselves as such observers, as only observers, but as participants at any time they go to public meetings or want to participate in being elected or having public office or whatever. I also think it's important for them to know about the Sunshine Law and about open records and open meetings, and if any of them would like a copy of a little summary of that, I would be happy to give it to them, or their teacher or advisor.
Thank you, Shirley. And Shirley's not just an observer. She comes and educates us, and when we're not doing it correctly, she lets us know about it in a very polite way. Thank you, Shirley. Mr. Twining.
Commissioners, if I might, my students and I would like to remind everybody on the TV audience that there will be a press conference the commissioners will hold on Tuesday, November 29th, and we will be talking about the exciting proposition, the Lorain County Growth Partnership, on the 5th floor. It will be held at 10:30 on that day, and it's over at the Elyria Memorial Hospital in the Gates Auditorium.
And anybody who's interested is invited to attend.
We sent out invitations specifically, but we have a room that will accommodate walk-ins. If they want to RSVP, just call our office. That number is 328-2331.
Thank you, Ron.
And we have cookies.
You're not allowed to have any. And last but not least, Rebecca Gray from the
Changed her
Community
mind.
Alliance is going to tell us about our December 2nd meeting.
Yes, just briefly, I want to invite everyone to the December 2nd meeting of the Lorain County Community Alliance. It's going to be hosted by the City of Elyria at their City Hall, 131 Court Street. We hope to have a representative from the Ohio Rail Commission speak about some upcoming exciting projects that we have. Thank you.
Rebecca, did you get the information I sent you on prescription drug?
Yes.
Are you going?
The Save Well?
Yeah, you're going to do something with that?
Yes.
Okay, so we won't, so I'm just going to leave that to you, okay?
I got it.
Thanks.
Anyone else? I move we go into executive session for the purposes outlined by the administrator and the assistant prosecutor.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kelsey?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.
Welcome to Golden Acres, Lorain County's best kept secret. In the heart of Lorain County, we are nestled on 22 acres of rolling hills in Amherst Township. Our rural-like setting is centrally located for everyone's convenience.
Since 1997, when the Golden Acres tax levy was voluntarily abandoned, the home has been self-sufficient. We currently serve private pay and Medicaid residents and are in the process of becoming a Medicare skilled nursing facility, which will enable us to provide a wider range of service to the residents of Lorain County.
Serving Lorain County for over 100 years, Golden Acres will continue to strive to provide the highest possible degree of health, social interaction, and emotional well-being.
While selecting the best place for your loved one is never easy, many families take great comfort in choosing the friendly, home-like environment of Golden Acres. Certified by the Ohio Department of Health as an intermediate care facility, Golden Acres participates in the Medicaid reimbursement program. The facility anticipates certification as a skilled facility. Golden Acres has 82 intermediate care beds, 20 of which are for specialized care of Alzheimer and related dementia patients. Designed by the Golden Acres gerontologist consultant, the Alzheimer unit meets the needs of dementia residents who are prone to wandering and not mindful of their safety needs. Small by today's large facility standards, Golden Acres is a full-service, patient-family-oriented facility, operating 24 hours per day, 7 days per week under the guidelines of the Ohio Department of Health. Respite care is also available, ideal for those who are caring for their loved one at home and need a break from the 24-hour vigilance. Golden Acres provides residents a variety of services. As a four-season facility, Golden Acres celebrates each season with attractive decorations throughout the facility. In December, holiday festivities abound. Spring is a time of renewal, and celebrations include the annual Mother's Day Tea. In the warm months, Golden Acres residents and their families enjoy congregating outside on the patio or in the gazebo, spending lazy summer afternoons and evenings in the shade. Fall brings hazy days and cool nights, Halloween and Thanksgiving, bonfires, and hayrides. A monthly newsletter, Golden Acres Chit Chat, contains entertaining articles and information relevant to all residents and family members, including the monthly activities calendar. Golden Acres also schedules visits from dental, podiatric, optometry, audiology, and psychiatric services. Beautician visits weekly and barber visits monthly.
While no facility could take the place of your loved ones at home, our caring staff, residents, and their families will strive to make them feel at home and a welcome part of our facility.
How you doing there? Here, have a treat, okay? No one can deny the loving devotion we get from our dogs, and I think we all agree we get back more love than we give them. I'm Dick Goddard. I'm reminding you, if you share your love with a dog, you'll never regret it. There's really nothing like a dog to spark up your life, whether you're a youngster, a senior citizen, or somewhere in between. And dogs have a whole lot of affection to share. Okay, is that good? You don't have to go far to hear heartwarming adoption stories.
With my husband is like saying man's best friend. He truly loves that dog. He feels it's part human. It's his second daughter, as Erica said. It's definitely a prize. She's queen of the house, basically. She's a good lover. She gives us a lot of attention. She's a good girl.
We had a cat before we had Abby, and Abby adapted very well. She is best friends with that cat. She will not harm that cat in any way. She's amazing. I love her. When I'm in bed at night, Abby will jump up with me and she will pull the covers back and she will lay under the covers and lay her head on the pillow just like a human.
I encourage anyone to go to the Lorain County Kennel to adopt a dog. It's given our family great satisfaction and a great reward.
After, you know, a bad day at work or anytime you come home, it's just always nice. They kind of turn your mood around when you come in the door, and they wagging their tails and jumping on you, and it's a great feeling to know that they're happy to see you and that they love you just as much as you love them. She is good with our other dog. She's good with people. She likes attention, and she likes to cuddle up with you.
It's funny when Lily, when you kind of discipline her sometimes when she does something bad, or she always seems to roll on her back and put her paws in the air and just look up at you with this sad look. So it's kind of hard to even get mad at her when she does something like that. So we kind of laugh at that.
And it's always amusing when she does get a spurt of energy and want to run around, and we're always like, oh my gosh, Lily's going to play now.
Yeah,
so
like sometimes, like when I'm on the couch or whatever, and she'll hop down, and she always like tries to bite her own tail, and then that kind of like keys on our other dog, Rocky, to chime in and try to, bite at her tail a little bit, and then they start playing around a little bit.
One day we came home with some food from, I just really wanted a burger. So we had a burger, and I had it sitting on the tray table by the couch, and I got up for a minute and got a drink, came back, and Lily was licking her lips. She had eaten the whole thing, and I was not very happy with her. So I screamed and told Kurt to come down and get her away from me because I was just so upset. But we both lived, and I was fine afterwards. One of the best things about adopting a dog from the kennel, at least for us, was, again, just giving this dog, who knows what would have happened to her, a new life, and also giving our other dog a companion during the day. It's just fun to have the two dogs and take them for walks and watch them play, and it brought us closer as well.
It just makes you feel better as a person that, you're giving a dog a better chance to live a life.
Actually, I enjoy the exercise because I need trying to lose weight.
Salem makes me get out of the house every day, and so I have to take him for a walk, even if I don't want to. And he's not that much trouble because he was pretty much housebroken when I got him from the pound. I really like the older pet because Salem was kind of, whoever had him before, they really kind of housebroken, so I didn't really have to go through the potty training deal. I just had to let him out and find a place for him to go. And I think older pets, especially for people who don't have children, are kind of good because Salem, he's real playful, but he's not, he gets tired and he lays down and he doesn't want to be bothered, and that's fine with me. So he's not always wanting to play, you know, because puppies have a lot of energy. And Salem has quite a bit of energy, but sometimes he just lays on his pillow and he's like, don't bother me, I won't bother you. And sometimes when he wants to play, he wants to play, and that's okay. I got Salem at the Lorain County Dog Pound. I found him on the internet, actually. They had his picture on the internet, and so I called and he was still there, and so I immediately went over and looked at him. We went outside and played, and he jumped in the car and wouldn't get out, and there we were. So we were on our way home. So it was love at first sight. He's a very good companion. I can always depend on him to be here and greet me with, you know, open arms when I come in the door. He's very protective of me, and he lets me know when anyone is outside or in the driveway. So I feel safe with Salem. You know, even though he's a small dog, he gives me a safe feeling just in my own home. If I'm having a bad day sometimes and I'm just not in a real good mood, you know, he'll come up and snuggle up to me like, hey Mom, it's okay. I think other people should adopt a pet, and even an older dog. The Lorain County Pound has so many wonderful dogs. All you have to do is go over there and look. I mean, even now, I still go on the website and I tell Salem, don't you want a little brother or sister? Because they have all these little cute dogs over there, and they all need good homes. And if you're looking to adopt a pet, I suggest you try the Lorain County Dog Pound first. I mean, you pay for the license and just a nominal fee, and you got a great dog and a great companion and somebody that's going to be in your life for the rest of your life, and they'll love you no matter what.
Hello, my fellow commissioners and I are here at the Lorain County Dog Kennel on Hadaway Street, just south of Elyria City Discount, Value City. We invite you to stop out and see the facility here. We have lots of dogs available for adoption. We also encourage all dog owners to register your dog each year and get a dog license. That's your dog's ticket home in case it gets lost. It has a number and can easily be identified so that your dog can be returned to you in case he or she might take a little walk and you are unaware of it.
Along with the regular licensing that the county requires for all dogs, we also have a special dog license. It's a special heart medical care license tag for an additional $5. And the proceeds from that go to help us when we pick up a stray that's injured, hurt, or needs extreme medical care. It helps defer the cost for us. So next time you get your dog license, please pick up the special heart tag.
The Lorain County Commissioners would like to welcome you to come down to the Lorain County Dog Kennel. We also have a website that you can check out. Just click on Dogs to Adopt. There's plenty of dogs to choose from. It's like this little girl right here. This is Sadie. You can come down, make sure it's a good match for you, take the dog out, take it for a walk. But please, if you're thinking about adopting a dog, come out to the Lorain County Dog Kennel and see if there's a match for you.
Give the Lorain County Dog Kennel a call or check their website for photos of currently available dogs. Remember, your best friend is just waiting for you.
Every year in Lorain County, hundreds of children are abused and neglected. Many are removed from their homes for their protection. Judges must decide their futures, but they need information to make these critical decisions. You can provide this information through Voices for Children. Volunteers are men and women from all walks of life with no special or legal background who work alongside attorneys, social workers, and other court employees. As an officer of the court, you find out as much as you can about the child. You will review records, interview parents and relatives, foster parents, talk to teachers, neighbors, and most importantly, the child. When the volunteer has a complete profile, he or she appears in court to recommend what is best for the child's future. You've heard the statistics on child abuse. Now is your chance to do something about it. You don't need any special qualifications, only the desire to protect local children who desperately need your help. To become a special advocate or for more information on our next training session, call Voices for Children today.